I pledge of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah.
7.3, you should be open to motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move on to 8.1, public comment period. One speaker.
Turn on.
Let's say over my young son, aka Mr. Spicy, came home being very proud, following directions, telling me I was a good boy to the time and listened. I sat very quiet and very still. We celebrate this with him every day. But then he added, the bad guy does not. There was a talk about having a good day. He was talking about having to do it after shooting. Later, my oldest son, who's 10, whispered to me, says, "Little brother, I hear him. Mom, if I cannot get in the classroom, I might, or hide, I might not. If I cannot help my friends, they might not. What if I cannot help my brother?" Our children play an escape routes in elementary schools. Ever playing about paint ribbons on book covers and ribbons in classrooms. We have people in Sandra that throw up in the mouth on direct means LGBTQ issues, DII, and history lessons. Yet deafening silence when billions of dollars being cut from government education and on special education, Title I, staff, Medicaid, mental health, and the unfunds. Or lack of politicians are dehumanizing larger population and calling burden, illegal aliens, poison the blood America, or welfare queens, low IQ, or means of politicians, some burgers. World War II propaganda on official White House page and social media accounts. Or made a president recently called a reporter quiet baby. We had influenced or mansplaining, trying to explain that a 2-year-old child is a woman and a 3-year-old male and single child is just a silly little kid. They say people have very civil rights in history and pretend that racism doesn't exist. Yet the Supreme Court just made racial profile legal, the Hadorma versus Middle case. They said like silent and cheer and say this is what I voted for, as we have mass men kidnapping children and families in school dropout lines and mothers trying to protect them as human shields. We have priests getting pepper sprayed. We really have the White House adorned in gold-free, terror-free gold, as people wait around the block and waiting for food in lines. The same masks these masked men that are wearing kidnapping people will claim this hypoxia during COVID that's perfectly acceptable for a federal sanctioned kidnapping. I wonder if they use the defense for oxygen deficiency when they stand in front of the judge and say, I was just following the orders. But the guy is low broadcasting because of similar resistance to this administration. At the end of the day, we must demand dignity and respect for every single person, regardless of skin color, background, or ability, or circumstances. We must refuse to be silent with the system of the power that's trying to divide us, dehumanize us, and strip us of our rights and our hope. We have to do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 9.1, district comments.
Thank you first. Thank you to our speaker for participating in the board meeting and sharing your input with us. Also, thank you to all of our students in the back for coming and being part of your educational process. Appreciate you being here. At this time, though, on Tuesday, October 28th, Braylon Zion passed away. Braylon was a 3rd grader at Reach. She loved school, spending time outside, listening to country music, and her favorite Lilo and Stitch doll. At this time, we ask that you join us in a moment of silence to remember Braylon. Thank you. District happenings, we have Operation Warm. We partnered with firefighters from the Winsville Fire Protection District and the WSD for the 13th consecutive year to supply nearly 3 brand new coats to our elementary students in need. To date, that group, that tandem, has provided more than 6,100 coats to unneeding WSD students. Last week, schools across the district celebrated the brave men and women who have or are currently serving our country. On Veterans Day, we thank them all for their service and their sacrifice. On November 3rd, the district was told the new Reach Center has reached substantial completion. We were able to begin the move-in process. This was ahead of schedule by several days and will allow for the building to be open and greet students on January 6, 2026. We're incredibly excited about that. We will be holding our board candidate information meeting on November 24th, which is Monday. If you're interested in serving on the Winsville School Board, please attend the meeting. APR, you'll hear more about it today, but we earned 90% on our annual performance report, maintaining our accreditation status and demonstrating clear gains in overall academic performance, which is our district's top strategic priority. The wow factor, our students make a difference every day. We want to make, our staff and students, but our staff make a difference every day. And we want to make sure they know how much they matter. Last year, 700 WSD employees were recognized with the Wow Factor Award, moments of gratitude submitted by parents, students, and their colleagues. This year, we're aiming higher. Our goal is 2,600 celebrations representing every full-time staff member in the district. Celebrate someone using the QR code or on our website under About Us. And finally, I want to wish the Winsville School District community a very happy Thanksgiving next week. We're grateful for our students, staff, and families, and for all you do to support learning and growth in our district. Enjoy a safe and joyful holiday with your loved ones.
Brian, moving on to 10.1, approval of consent agenda. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Motion. Second. All in favor? Aye. On to old business, 11.1, second reading. Part 2 of the protocol revision to chapter 10. Need a motion. Motion that Board of Education approve revision to policy 1320, 1405, 1406, 10, 12, 13, and 1450. Anderson policies 6530, 6531 about placement policy 1451 and 1452 in chapter 1000 as presented.
Motion.
Second. Those in favor?
Do we roll call?
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. On to 11.2, second reading of policy 4840, conflict of interest. Need a motion that the Board of Education approve the revision of policy 4840, conflict of interest as presented. Motion. Second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? We need a motion of the board that the Board of Education approve revisions to policy 5240, comprehensive emergency operations plan and preparedness as presented.
Motion.
Second. In favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So that's 4. We need a motion that the Board of Education approve revision to policy.
Shows it's running.
Standards and coordinators as presented.
Motion.
Second. Second. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. 11.5, we need a motion that the Board of Education approve the revision policy 5270, securing buildings and grounds as presented. Motion. Discussion. All those in favor?
I,
All those opposed? Motion passes. 6, we need a motion that the Board of Education approve the revision to policy 6330 and anti-hate boycott prohibition as presented. Motion. Second. Discussion.
An hour, 10 minutes, 26.
All those in favor?
I,
Opposed?
And people watching.
On to 11.7 from 11.6. The North Point campus road name. Any discussion? So this is template. Let's look at the top road name choices. Cub Lane, Fall Drive, Dim Lane, Big Bear Drive, Big Claw Way, Grizzly Way, or Grizzly Den Drive Trail, Grizzly Lane, North Point Way, Giraffe Lane, Gleason Lane. They have a preference on any of those.
Bear Claw.
Bear Claw Way.
I nominate. I motion to name one of them Bear Claw Way. Is there?
Brian, which one did you see?
It was Grizzly Way and we were informed Bear Creek.
So we could use something close to that, like Grizzly Lane or.
I would assume so. I would recommend you probably pick 4 to 5, top 5, and then give me order and I'll submit it that way.
Grizzly Lane.
Let's do first one under 117. Right underneath that.
There's a lot of.
Are we gonna just go on the list or are we gonna go on each name?
I guess we need to come up with.
We have to each go on the list.
What else?
So you want to be Bear Claw? Something. Lane. Way. Bear Claw Way
Bear Claw Way.
or Lane? Yeah, preference. There's a Bear Claw Drive already. That exists already, it said, yeah, I just looked it up. It's Bear Claw Drive.
We could try Bear Falling. Again, I don't know. I don't have experience with naming roads, so we're gonna have to go with.
And the overwhelming suggestion was something with Grizzlies in it, so Grizzly.
And also Bear Claw Fort. So Lane is easy.
Whatever.
So is there a building with an address on this road we're naming, so it doesn't, we're not getting rid of nails?
No, these roads are all internal district roads. The roads are off North Point Prairie. The buildings are, so the names are going to get mailed. There won't get mail there. It's literally this name and this name.
We have Den Trail.
Okay, so we have Bear Claw something, Lane, I think is what it's. Trail. We got 2.
I change it to Bear Claw. Bear Claw.
If there's no bear claw, that's a bird. I want to change my bear claw to bear claw. Bear claw lane.
Bear Ball Lane, same trail. You want something with the right?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, do we want to do like giraffe, something, lane, right? And the five that I submitted, I pulled off of basically the list and kind of what everybody submitted, they kind of boiled it down. And obviously Grizzly something was by far the most, but it's too confusing to use Grizzly.
So. David, were you suggesting that as one of the?
Yeah, giraffe. I had a name there.
Okay, so Bear Ball Lane, then trail giraffe. You give it those. Jack, that's cool.
That's four. What was the one?
We have 3 roads.
Wasn't there a reason for
It was. I remember that we didn't want to name here the child that's on North Point because high school, middle school, the male was getting first class.
Yes. So they need to consider correct with that road. So
Yeah, so you'll give me your list, rank order them, and I'll send them.
motion to name the forest, to submit the list of names for the Free Street as follows: Bear Paw Lane, Death Trail, Giraffe Lane, North Point Drive. Way. North Point Circle. Okay, so Bear Paw Lane, Death Trail, Giraffe Lane, North Point Circle.
okay. There's a second.
Second.
All right, good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay. All right, on to 11.1, I need a motion to approve the AP. Then what's after that? Motion. Oh, I'm sorry. All right,
Second.
discussion? All those opposed? Vote.
Director Olson,
Aye.
Director White,
Same.
Vice President Walsh,
Aye.
Director Hanky. Aye. Director Wiesenthal.
Aye.
Motion carries.
On 12.2.
Good evening. We are going to review our annual performance report briefly this evening. This report demonstrates significant gains in academic performance, which is our real quick before we get started, APR is the annual documentation generated based on our M6 standards. The overall APR score is calculated out of 200 total points. The performance score holds 140 points and it measures quantifiable student outcomes and results. Our continuous improvement score is 60 points and it measures the quality of our processes, systems, and our compliance. This slide highlights our overall score trends since the initial onset pilot year in 2022. The district has demonstrated steady improvement each year. In 2022, we earned 84.2% of our points, and this year we came out at 90%. Our key highlight is successful increase in the overall percentage of points earned, moving from 84.2 to 90%. In 2025, we showed balanced performance across both major accountability categories. We earned 126. There we go. We earned 126 out of 140 points at 90% for performance, 54 out of 60 for continuous improvement at 90%, which brought us to a total of 180 out of 200, which gave us a 90% level. The most significant growth area is our performance metric, which directly measures student academic outcomes. We've seen steady improvement in this area since 2022. In 2022, our performance percentage earned was 78.6, and in 2025, our performance percentage earned was 90. This represents an 11.4 percentage point increase in performance since the pilot year and a 14.5 overall percentage increase. The district is now rated at target, which is the highest score in all 4 academic achievement status areas of ELA, math, science, and social studies. Mathematics was a key area of improvement for us that we made some great growth in this year. We moved the designation for all students from on track to target, earning our full amount of points. Growth in mathematics was identified also as a key area of success and improvement. We're excited to share that the mathematics student group has shown significant growth. In 2023, the student group was rated as approaching, and through continuous improvement efforts, this designation increased to on track in 2025. We're optimistic and excited for our work to continue in the area of mathematics. We've worked with middle school and high school through their curricular transition, and we'll be bringing elementary on next year to rewrite and adapt as their last cycle was in 2020. All students achieved the target designation, 100% of points earned in 2024, and maintained that in 2025. In academic achievement status for English language arts, we've demonstrated stability. All students consistently earn the maximum 12 points and the target designation across all 4 reported years. The student group cohort consistently earned 4.5 points out of 6, 75% of the points, and the on-track designation across all 4 years. We recognize that maintaining 4.5 points for student groups appears to stay steady. Director Olson asked some great questions this week about what that means and what we're doing to improve those areas. And when we analyze that performance index, the MPI, we look at groups individually that make up the student group score. Included in this score are Hispanic population, ELL, free reduced lunch students, Flex students, and IEP students. We are seeing improvement in our Hispanic and ELL population, is making movement on MPI changes of 2.2% and 4.2%, respectively, since 2022. Some of the challenges that we face in these areas with some IEP students are that they are required to take grade level math and EOC assessments, while at times they're performing significantly below grade level. Our teachers continuously analyze data to provide the most appropriate instruction and learning goals for students, adjusting as needed based on data. We make all of our decisions. With our standards-based grading shifts at the elementary, teachers and administrators are able to see in real time how students are performing at mastery of standards and how they're progressing throughout the year. And through our common assessment work at the secondary levels, we're able to look at data in real time through our PLCs and make adjustments to instruction. Turning to ELA academic growth, we see positive recovery similar to math. The student group growth designation dropped to approaching in 2023, and by 24 and 25, the ELA student group growth rebounded, earning 4.5 points in the on-track designation. The continuous improvement score focuses on the internal processes and systems. We earned 90% in this area. We have significant areas of strength in our improvement plans, our response to standards, climate and culture shifting, and our kindergarten readiness assessment. However, two key metrics require immediate attention and contribute to a 6-point deficit for us. Our ICAP completion, we earned 0 out of 4 points. This is a substantial decline for us. This indicates that we did not meet the requirement of 95% completion for intermediate graders. We're currently revamping our processes internally to ensure that these points are already moving forward. Attendance continues to be an issue that we struggle with. We consistently earn 2 out of 4 points, 50% across all years, including 2025. This is an approaching designation. It means our proportional attendance rate is between the 80% and 84.8%. It will be 84.7 last year. I don't know. All right, so the next few slides here go through just some general data, and you can see kind of where we compare to various districts. This first slide here is total overall APR. It shows that Glenstow's overall APR was 90%. The state's average was 79.5. And it kind of goes through and like looks at state through 12 districts, top 20 enrollment districts, districts that are similar to us, St. Charles district. And so you can go ahead and you can go through those. I won't read all of those to you. It also shows where we rank in comparison to those groups of school districts. Something that we're really proud of this year is we grew in the area of growth, our ranking of growth. If you look at St. Charles County Big 3 school districts, we are ranked #1 in the area of growth and growing in the area of our APR. And then #2 in all of St. Charles County, and #2 in the top 7 that are very similar to us. So that's fries and free reduced lunch. So that's our APR summary. This one goes ahead and breaks down just performance. So overall, you see Wentzville is 90%. And then you can see where our rank falls. So #3 in St. Charles County, 4 in the top 7 school districts that are similar to us, 6 in the top 20 that are similar to us in enrollment. And again, in the area of performance, #1 in the area of performance out of St. Charles County 3 that are similar to us in size. And #2 overall in St. Charles County. These slides are just really good visuals, just so you could see the yellow and the green getting less and the blue getting more. That is kind of what our goal is that we're in target in all of those areas. These are the 3 areas that our designation changed in from last year. So our status for math for all students went from on track to target. Our status in science for all students went from on track to target. And our growth in math and student groups went from approaching to on track. So those are our 3 areas of movement. We have no in 17 areas and we decreased it. This shows you our performance status, and the shaded boxes show you that's the count of school districts within the state. And those shaded boxes show you where Wentzville falls within those areas. And then the percentages below. This is the area of growth. Counts are on top, percentages are on the bottom. Blue and green. This is performance, it's high school related. So you can see the different points that we get just for high school students alone for CCR, advanced credit, the high school readiness, and then graduation rate and follow up. So you can see we're CCR, we're constantly and consistently evaluating that area. And then you can see where we fall in target and then in percentile for our high school related. This goes through and shows you our MAP performance index averages by content area for our reporting group by year. So you can see that in ELA for all students, it shows our MPI in 2022 and how for all students and student groups for all areas, how that MPI has grown. I thought those were just really good visuals to say this. All right. So we definitely have celebrations. Our biggest celebration is our growth achievement for in the area of performance. Improving 14.5% is a huge jump over the years, and it's something that we work very intentionally, very hard on. We have had a renewed focus on priority standards in our district. We talk about standards all the time. I'm very proud of the work that our teams are doing around them. Another celebration is just benchmark assessments, using benchmark assessments to determine student needs, implementing our CA3T model tier system of supports, and then targeting professional development really based around teachers' needs and what they're saying they're needing. Some areas of improvement moving forward. While we built strong, high quality a product with 90% performance score, there are some critical elements that we really need to address. One of those is immediate action on ICAP to ensure that that is completed next year, and we get those points for that. Attendance, we will continue to implement targeted strategies to move the proportional attendance rate above 85%. To make that jump, we're close because we need that extra use. CCR is something where our college career readiness assessments is something we're constantly looking at and picking those scores so that we're getting those students even as bad. Yeah, my
No, I just want to jump in.
Oh, okay.
Real quick on the CCR test, what Katie's talking about. For students, this is where your tests that you take in class, your POCs and things like that, all of this data is what we're showing right now. That comes from the stuff you do in class. So when you think that AOC doesn't matter, that's how it matters. The other side of that, they're called CCR. So those of you that taken like the ACT work keys, the ASVAB, things like that. So we quit requiring several years ago every student to take an ACT, paying for that, and doing everything else. So you actually lose points if you don't require or get every single student to participate in taking those tests. That's the CCI score, so you can see why that dropped down. The pre-test you can take the ASVAB test. So we'll be take the ASVAB, how does that work, and pushing through like what's the next step to maximize those points. So that's a big part of that CCR. It's about the only way you can improve that part is figuring out a way to make sure every student takes the qualifying exam, ACT work keys, and ASVAB is the one we're missing. SAT. Those are the ones.
The organizer.
Good. I will have the their improvement goal is to the continuous support of prioritizing professional learning communities. And initiating that mindset shift from student compliance to student learning, and us really knowing that students are learning how they're able to shift that. I'm incredibly proud of the growth that we're seeing in our school district. It's definitely been a journey, and I give all the credit in the world to our teachers and to the team that we have, and to my team. My team works tirelessly every day, especially when we shout out to Joe Constant, who was very instrumental in getting a lot of this information together for us.
Any questions for? Moving on to 12.3. We need a motion that Board of Education approve the proposal to hire 4 uniform armed school security officers as presented. Motion.
Second.
Just a little bit of information, sorry about in the audience, if you haven't had a chance to look at the agenda, understand what we need here. So as a district, we're consistently looking for methods to improve student security, safety, staff security, and safety. At our high schools and our middle schools, we're fortunate enough to have one SRO in every single building. In 3 schools, we have ratios at best from 1 to 2, ranging all the way up to 1 to 4. So maybe an SRO who has to cover 4 different buildings. The idea behind the SO is what's called a school safety officer. These are most likely going to be retired police officers and they'll have experience. We're looking for SRO for forward experience out of them. And then they will be stationed in some of our elementary buildings to help provide additional security. We are offsetting that cost. Currently, the district brings our car service. The SSOs would also do our cash pickups, which, if you guys know, we don't do a lot of cash stuff. So that's what we're going to attempt to do there. Our goal is to see how this goes. We want to see how the first semester goes with it. And if it's successful, we really would probably look to add 1 SSO to every elementary school, make sure we have security presence and as best we can. I hate saying it, unfortunately, that's kind of the world we're living in now. You guys all know that. Safety is paramount. A lot of people trying to get into buildings and do bad things nationwide. And so this goal is to try to help prevent some of that with people who are trained and students and also security and safety environment. The other part is they'll play a key cog, obviously, with every elementary school and their safety preparation plans, as well as collaborating with the local police departments. Just so everybody understands, Linsville and like St. Louisville are aware this is where we're looking at this. They're both supportive of that. That would be the 2 areas that were the 2 precincts.
Any comments, questions?
So, I mean, I came tonight prepared to, make an amendment that we hire 11 instead of 4, but after talking with Brian, I think the reason for the 4 is we're gonna work out the scheduling things, you know, who's going where, who's covering what, and, you say that.
So what we're thinking about is right now we've never done this. It's done in 2 school districts in St. Louis County. We'll be the first in St. Charles County to do that. We want to get a good handle on exactly what their roles can be, see what the candidate pool looks like, make sure we can staff them with appropriate personnel first. If it's approved tonight, we'll post those positions with the hope of hold our December board meeting and go online in January. Once they start in January, then we want to evaluate about 2 months, which would be February or March. I will give an update on how we're doing and then potentially make a recommendation to say, let's budget next year on our staffing budget to add the additional. So that's really what we want to do. We want to make sure that it works and all the kinks out before we take 11 on and try to take care of it. It is a massive financial commitment to do 11. So that's what it would take to have an officer plus 1 floater that would kind of be your lead and sub in when somebody goes gone. So I'm just asking at this time that we let's work out the kinks, make sure it's working the way we want, and then come back and get that update and let everybody else.
So Max said that you're like, we're not paying that much now, that you bring the stuff, but we're getting rid of that, so it'll be around $250, $300, $300,000 annually for this additional 11 SSOs.
No, the cost for 4 is about $250,000. No, that's just 4. 4 is the 230.
I thought 4 was a wash.
It is. So if you add 4, we need 12 or 11. I'm sorry. So if you do the quick math, we're looking at about 750.
So that means that I would still support 11 because there's a lot of things that we spend that amount of money on annually. And the district our size can
I think absolutely.
Like we've been talking about, I would just, if we're gonna go that route, we'll put full budget for those positions of the we haven't done that. This is kind of just Dr. Reller and I were looking at some cost of rings. We thought we could do it a little bit differently and provide more security and get a little bit better bang for our buck with that money. And that's what it is.
So after we're picking out, if you come to us in March with the recommendation to hire the additional people every school plus a floater, are we thinking that it would be start of next school year?
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate the willingness to go and kind of find how to offset this with the current budget. You know, being financially responsible, looking for ways we can get rid of something while also improve something at the same time. So appreciate everybody's work on that. During the roll call.
Director Olson,
Aye.
Dr. White,
Aye.
Vice President Walsh,
Aye.
Director Henke. Aye. Secretary Beasley.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on to 12.4, we need a motion before the board of directors.
Motion?
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to 12.5, first reading, part 2, proposed revisions to chapter 1000. General administration of who wants to cover this one.
It's just for discussion. I think that they can revisions they want to make from anything like that.
First reading, okay. 13.1, with action items on amendments. Any board member comment?
Happy Thanksgiving. Have a restful 4 months. A restful 5 days off.
I just wanted to say I had the opportunity to go and help with Frontier's kind of quarterly party. And it's awesome to see all these scores improving across the district, but it's great to go in person. See all the teachers, staff, administration. The amount of people that go above and beyond for these kids so they enjoy school is like see the relationships are established throughout the whole building. So it was awesome to be part of that. So everyone out there, staff, administration, everybody's great to see in person. Encourage anybody who can go volunteer. They use all the help they can get, and it's awesome to go see in person. So thank you to all those who do what you do because it's a lot of work. So great to see in person.
I would just echo the same thing. Have a great break, everybody. And high schoolers, make sure you're studying now for your finals. Here before you know it.
Motion.
Dr. Olson,
Aye.
Director White,
Aye.
Vice President Walsh.
Aye.
Aye. Secretary Beasley.
Aye.
Motion carries.